Eleno Chime, I'm back. I had to take a, a bit of a break. I had a lot of family stuff going on, birthdays and things to celebrate. So I'm back now with my daily reading of the Florentine. Okay, so this one is Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl means the plumed serpent. Okay, so whenever you see two nouns combined like this, what we're doing is we're taking this coatl, so he's a snake that is feather-like. Okay, so this is kind of like descriptor. This describes this. Okay, so we're expecting a snake that is feather-like or plumed serpent, as the translation says. So we got Inik, Maquili, capítulo, Itechpa, Tlahtoa, Inteotl, In Itoca, Quetzalcoatl. Let me just double check. Itechpa, concerning someone. Okay, so this means the fifth chapter concerning what is said about the Teot, whose name is Quetzalcoatl. Okay, so that's the literal translation of that. Of course, they've got the whole old timey English here, which telleth of the god named Quetzalcoatl. Okay, so this Platoa is just it's actually third person. So what he or she says about that is what it means. Okay. But in this case, it's kind of meant to be like what is said, like a non-active verb. There's a way to make it non-active, but they didn't do that. So because otherwise they could have made it plural, right? They could have said what they say about uh this or Quetzalcoatl, but they don't do that. So sometimes, we'll notice that not everything is written perfectly. you know, Sometimes it's colloquial. So we got Quetzalcoatl in Ehecatl, in Teyacanca, in Tlachpanca, in Tlaloque, in Ahuaque, in Quicuauhti. So it should have an H. Okay, so let's break this one down. So this is Quetzalcoatl. He is the wind. He is the wind. And this is interesting because remember, in the previous ones, like for the tail, it says specifically what they are, right? And I didn't mention it, but a lot of people say like Huitzilopochtli, for example, is the sun, but it never says that he's the sun, if you notice in his entry, nor for Penal. Okay, so they're very methodically identifying what each Theot is in charge of. So that's really important to note. Okay, so we've got in Ehekat. So he was the guide. The Akanka is what we're saying here. I think it's the guide. By the way, this in is signifying that it's there. It's possessive. It's possessed by there. So this is the first time we see this. So I think it's important to note. Where's it at? This part, the in. The Yakanki is the noun. It's the guide, right? The Akanki, the guide. But this is in the Akanka. So their guide. Okay. So he is their guide. And then the road sweeper. So this is Tlachpan. Cow. Their road sweeper. Who is there? See the in? They're talking about Tlaloc. Tlaloque. Okay, Tlaloque is the plural of Tlaloc, and these are um, just different manifestations of Tlaloc. You know, the river, the water, the clouds. They sometimes they're referred to as helpers. They help Tlaloc, right? In different forms. So Tlaloque, kind of the workers of Tlaloc. Let me show you the word for sweep. Tlachpan. So we can see that. Okay, so Tlachpanali is the act of sweeping. So he's their sweeper, the Tlaloque. Okay. And then it goes on to talk about who the Tlaloque are. It's describing them. So it says, in Awake, Awake, in Kiawati. Okay. And that's the masters of the water, those who brought rain. Notice how this, let me show you where that comes from. The masters is actually at. So at is water. Okay. Plus the possessor, which is wa. Okay. And when the wa is attached, then the ending is eliminated. And so that's why we have awa, awa, awake. That's plural. Okay. So they are the owners of water, the owners of water. And ki, kiawati. Those of you who are familiar with the calendar will see this is very similar to kiawit, right? And so that's where it says those who brought rain. Kiawati. Kiawati is the verb for rain. So they brought the rain. So the masters of the rain, the masters of they own the water. So instead of masters, you know, if you want to be a little bit more accurate, we can say the owners of. Okay, so it says au in iquak molvia eheka mictoa tetli cuculaca icoyoca tetecuica tlatlas sini mo tlatla dia. Okay, so au and equal we've covered before. So let's see. Equal is when. Okay. And au is just and. So and when. Okay. And when. Here. And when the wind increased. Okay, so and when the wind increased, and when Moruia ehekat. Okay, ehekat is the wind, it's just spelled ehekat. here, but Hecatl. Okay, so when it increased, Mixtoa. Mixtoa is it was said again, so it's similar to this one, Tlatoa, Tlatoa, but Mixtoa is actually reflexive, so it's like he said it. And then we've seen Tetli before, that's dust. Okay, the dust, Tetli, Cuacualaca, swirled up. Okay. Tetli, Cuacualaca. Let's go over here to see that. Okay. Ikoyoka. Ikoyoka, swirled up. Tetecuica, it roared. It howled. Tatioya. Pizza. There was lightning. Tlatlacini. Motlatlahueltia. It grew wrathful. So let's break some of this down here. So first of all, this where it says it became dark. Okay. So it became dark. I'm looking for that word, and I think it's this one. Okay. Because let me show you. Let me show you the word for darken. Yawa. Oh, Yawa. 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 La ioya. Okay. Yowali. Yowaltica. Yowali. La ioya. Let's see. Okay, I found it. So it's Tlayowa. So if I put Tlayowa here, Tlayowa. So it's Tlatlayoya. Tlatlayoya because that's past. Okay, it grew, it became dark. Now the Tla, okay, is like intensifier. It's Tlatlayoa. It became dark. Tlatla Tlatlayoa. Or Oya. Tlatlayoa. Okay, because of the past marker, past tense marker. Okay, so this is lightning. Let me show you that. There are several different words for lightning in Nahuatl, but like for example, Tlapepetlani, but they're not using that one. They're using this one. Okay, so Tlatlatzini, Tlatlatzini, right here. Okay, so that's lightning. Now let's look at this. It grew wrathful. See if we can get a better definition there. Tlacahualtia. Maybe I'll just do it one time. There you go. A lot of times those extra prefixes are not in the dictionary, so you gotta delete them. But look, it means enojarse. To get mad at somebody else. Hueltia is like causative. So you're getting mad at somebody. La hueltia, okay, is this. Now the mo is saying that it's reflexive, right? So it's like that's why it's saying it grew wrath. Right? The wind grew wrathful, but in this case, angry. The wind grew angry at things. Or actually, it's a third person, so it is again. It's just using it in general, like a general kind of way of saying it grew wrathful. But it's really, since there's no prefix, so we're talking about a third party. Okay, is how you want to think about it. And now what the third person is never specified with the prefix. Okay, so it's kind of inferred that he's getting himself angry at other people. Is how you kind of want to read that. Okay, so now we're done with that. Let's go on to the next part. Okay, so this part has a lot of we talked about this before. Right, is the same as wa, and this is showing ownership, and so you're gonna see a lot of he had, right? He had, as if to say he owned or he had. Okay, so that's not a terrible definition, but we are talking about ownership here. Okay, so it says ao iwi in mochichiwaya o kopile mishtilpopots hekanech ioale miskin ech ioale tsikolikana coche teoquitla teoquitla aquechcoske quetzalcoxolamamale osolotzitzele ikbaumiquicuele ecacosca chimale ecahuique no pozolcaque. Okay, so as you can see, like when we're talking in sentences, right, there's not a lot of combined nouns. There's not a lot of big words. That's a big misconception. A lot of people think that Nahuatl just is full of these long words, right? But inik makwili capítulo y techpa tlatoa inteot in itoka quetzalcoatl. And there's not a lot of compound words there, right? And that's kind of how the typical speech goes. Typical speech and writing is, so you're not going to find that, but we are finding it here actually when we're talking about what the they are wearing. Okay, and the reason for that is because their dress, their clothing is very elaborate. Okay, so it's not just like, a regular t-shirt and a regular hat, right? Like you can't just say one noun. It's like it's a specific kind, like oslo copile, right? And it's so that's why we're seeing so many compound nouns. It's just like specific to the situation. But let's go through this. And he was thus arrayed out. So iwi is another word. It just means like that, and like that or thus. Remember arrayed. Um, arrayed. It means he dressed himself, and he dressed himself like this, right? Osalo copile. He had a conical ocelot skin cape. Okay, he owned it. Now, a lot of times the authors, there's a lot of citations there, so they're like, a lot of times they're citing other translators for these, right? Um, but Kopili is a word that means a headpiece or a conical cap. Okay, so you may be familiar with the Kopili. The famous Kopili is made of quetzal feathers. Looks like this Kopili. like this. Okay, so this is what they're talking about, copili, just like that. This is the famous one in the museum somewhere in Europe. They say that it belongs to Moctezuma, but probably not, right? But can you imagine a copili like this made of ocelot skin? That's pretty cool, right? So he's got the ocelot copile, okay? And then again, whenever we see this ish, talking about the face, right? So his face was covered with soot, okay, popots. Let's see, popots, see if it pops up here. They're translating it as suit, popots. No, it's popping up, popo. But I mean, it sounds a lot like popoca, right? So maybe it's related to smoke somehow. So that's a word that I don't know. Oh, you know what? Remember, sometimes the intensifier is missing. Let's try this. What's nope, it didn't work. Let's try suit. Sometimes if you're not able to spell it correctly, you could just do this. But I don't see it. But you see a lot of popoa, okay? Popots. So obviously it's connected somehow to smoke. So we'll say suit is accurate, probably. Okay, and then it was adorned with spiral wind and mesquite symbols. This is a little bit confusing because it says Heka, Heka, but it's actually talking. It's missing an E. So again, they're just writing it how it sounds. Okay. Sometimes when people speak in English, we don't pronounce all of the words. Same thing is happening here in Nahuatl. They don't always say eheka, eheka. Sometimes they say eka, eka nechole. It's just truncated and natural speech. So it's really cool actually that is we're able to see that, right? In the novel. It just shows that it's very natural, and it shows that they're really basing this off of people interviews. Like they said that they interviewed a lot of elders, right? And that tracks because they're just kind of typing in what they're saying, writing what they're saying, right? And they're not catching all of the sounds because they're probably not saying all those sounds. So that's important to note. We don't want to get too confused by that. Okay, but the mesquite, the ekat is here, and the mesquite's probably the niche. Let's see if we can find that mesquite. Try niche. Yoa. Geo. Some okay, so we'll just take it. Just take their translations. Think that's mesquite. They have a citation there if you want to look. But you got a curved. Okay, I think this is the mesquite one. No, it's not. This one. Because remember when I put mesquite, it came up with mesquite. So this one. So that nechioa must uh, correspond to symbol. That's an interesting word. Let's see if we can find that. We'll try symbol this time. Symbol. Oh, I really want to find that word. Something about niche, but Natch is actually also a prefix corresponding to him himself. So that may, I don't know. I don't think it's a verb though. Mitch. Mitchioa. 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 Mitch. Oh, you know what? There's an L there. Mitchioa. Mitchioali. Maybe it's probably what the word is. Yeah, there it is. Most likely, I'm just not spelling it in a way where the search is going to pop up. Necio, Necioali. Let's try to get rid of I maybe. No, Necioali. Okay, that's got to be some kind of word, but I don't know what it is because it's Miski. Miski is the Meski, and Heka is the wind. So this apparently means symbol. Okay, symbol. And then the next one is going to be corresponding to curved turquoise. Was it ear pendant? That's quite a word there. This is see, coli. Coli means curved. Coli canacoche. Canacoche. Okay, so that's gonna be the turquoise ear pendant that's curved. This is Teoquitla. This is Teoquitla, which is gold. Yes, there it is, gold. And then this cos. Actually, it's this Cosca. Cosca is Coscat from necklace, neckband. Guess Cosque, so that's the neckband of small seashells. So I expect Aquech. Aquech to be small seashells. Let's check it out. There's the on there, so that's we know that's a water. Aquech. Nope. But yeah, that's gotta be it. So the is the water and the quech is the shell, the seashell. Okay. So that's a heck of a word. Look at that. Teoquitla. That's the gold part. Aquich, the small seashells. And then the necklace. He wore a necklace of small seashells, and it's also gold. So they can cram a lot of words in there. When we're talking about the elaborate dress of the Teteo. Okay, so that's the Oquitla, and then Quetzal, of course, is going to be talking about the feather. Quetzal Koshola, Kosholamba, Male. So this is a pheasant, precious pheasant device. So let's check dictionary, pheasants. There it is. Ko Kosholitli. Kosholitli. Then let's see if pheasants device comes up. So the mamale, mamale. Male. No. There. So it's something they put on their backs. So it's a device. Okay. It comes from the word to carry. Okay, so it's just a device that they put in the back. Um, which is why it says here on the back, right? Because he's carrying it on his back. So that's interesting. Mamale. So this is again a noun that derives from a verb. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Osalo, again, osalo, skin anklets with bells. Okay, so that tsitsi is probably bells. Let's double check. There it is. The tsitsi. Yeah, so the tsitsi part is referring to the bells. Tsitsile. So there's probably a verb. Just see, tsile. Let's see. Without the modifier. Oh, close. Okay. So I can see how there could be a word. Tsili. Look, there's so many words in Nahuatl. There's like hundreds of thousands of words in Nahuatl. Okay. And so these dictionaries, they're not gonna have all of the words. That's the crazy thing about it. And so sometimes we just have to look at related words to kind of make the translation, you know. This one is a cotton bone rib jacket. Ooh, that's interesting. So cotton is ik. There it is. Ikba. Ikba. Okay, so it's ikba. It's the root. Ikba, and then you've got bone ribbed. I don't know if we're gonna find that word, but we'll try. No. There it is. One's rib. There it is. Haha. So it's a suffix. Okay, so it's a rib made of cotton or a cotton bone rib jacket. I don't know where they got the bone from, but it's definitely a rib. Okay. He was the owner of the cotton rib. Okay, so I don't know where they're getting jacket from, but again, they have a citation, so probably somewhere else. But here, look, we got heka again. Heka it should be e. Heka. His with a shield with the wind shell design. Okay. There's he actually has a beautiful necklace that he wears. Heka is what we call it. Heka. So it's the necklace, the wind necklace. I'll show you what it looks like. Um, but there's so many variations of this. Heka. It's very popular. So you see, they have it out of gold. The bone made of a seashell, most common was seashell. There's a lot of them. This was they also made out of jade. Oh, look how beautiful it is! Wow, Eka Koska. This was also apparently a symbol for like higher education. The Kalmikak, the place of higher education, had these, like this style, decorated. This is crazy. Look at this one. It's a serpent in the middle. Wow. All right, so now that we know what that looks like, right? We can identify the compound now. So it's Heka Koska right here, Heka Koska, and then Chimali. Chimali is a shield. Okay, so it's the shield with the wind shell design on. Beautiful. Okay, Eheka Wike. Eheka Wike is apparently talking about a spirit thrower. Why is it curved? Curved spirit thrower. Let's see if it pops up. Lat Eheka Aki. Aki. I guess they're saying it's a spirit thrower, but I don't know. I don't see it. Eheka. No, because it should be Atlat, but they don't have that. So I don't know. We'll just take it for their word for it. Okay. Eka Wike. And then this is, of course, Posel Kake. The Kaki, or Kakli for sandal. And then I think we translated this before, but foam sandal is the Posokli. You see this little curved thing underneath the C is the Z. Posokli. Poso, Posol. Okay, Posol Kakli. Or in this case, Posol Kake. The owner, here's the owner of foam sandals. And this is Quetzalcoatl. Okay, so we're done with Quetzalcoatl. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, and see you again tomorrow. Tlaxcamati, timuetase.